Oh, an NFL roster is 53. Okay. Well, how many people are starting in the beginning there?
I would say 90.
Roughly, 50%, a little under 50%, 40% are not going to be there when the season comes around. Like, this is intense. It's cutthroat. And it's business, but like you gotta like have it all put together for how long of a period of time?
So we had a rookie mini camp for 3 days. Dudes coming from other teams is trying out too. So
wow.
There was probably
And are there cuts at the end of that?
There's probably like 115 guys there.
And you got 3 days to make the best impression possible.
And then so they made a cut there, and then all the undrafted free agent guys waited until team camp, and then that's when we went on in July.
You're in this group, and this is, if anyone's watched Hard Knocks, like this is the whole shtick, right? Where you fall in love with the like undrafted dude, and then like he throws a pick in preseason game 2, gets axed, and you're like, damn. And now he's selling insurance, right? This is pressure. Is it more pressure than you've ever felt in your entire life?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I feel like culture-wise, are you trying to make friends?
Yeah.
But it's also like, hey, I can't be too good because for me to get my dream, like you have to not get yours.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing about this, this process, and it's a job at the end of the day. People think about it. It's a game you played and you've loved, but at the end of the day, you're trying to take another grown man's job.
Take us through the process of camp. Like, you're in a hotel, in a new city. Like, what does this look like?
You can ask my buddy Booker. They're in a nice place. They're staying at their facilities. A lot of these other teams stay at, nicer places, their facilities, but the Chiefs, we train at a little college in St. Joseph, Missouri, and Coach Reed's real old school. We're in dorm rooms, everybody.
Oh, hell yeah. That's
yeah.
like the Colts camp used to be at in Anderson, I think. It's like you're at Anderson.
You're laying
like the old school grit. Baby.
Laying on a bed that feels like plywood. So,
like 4 inches. It's like, you weren't going to sleep anyway, right?
Not
like,
at all.
Okay, so you're at, what is St. Joseph's College?
It's Missouri Western, I think.
You're at Missouri Western, St. Joseph, Missouri.
Yep.
And you're fighting for your career. And you're fighting for your dream. How often are they making cuts?
You went all the way through camp, basically, until they made like the legit cuts.
So is it camp and then preseason starts? And there's still cuts during that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what number, we're going throughout camp, we're going from what number to what number?
I think it goes down to 60, maybe somewhere around in there, and then right down all the way to the 53.
Okay, so they're shaving another like 30% of the roster off during mini camp, put everything, and then it's just like one day, like the last day of camp, you just have to you just walk into a room and they're like, welcome or not welcome.
Kinda, and you get a phone call here and there, but it's after preseason really is when they kind of make their final adjustments and everything.
So throughout it, were there any moments like where you were like, shit, it's over? Like,
not really. I was always thinking, it's my dream. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna just, fight my hardest I can, and then, if something goes wrong, we're gonna figure it out.
Was there anyone within the organization that really took you under their wing?
Yeah, Coach Pink and also Coach Porter, both the running back coaches, man, they helped me out a lot. And I would also say our special teams coordinator guy, he's really, because I never really played special teams too much in college and even in high school. So kind of
and I mean, that's like the thing, right? You don't just get to run the ball.
No,
like you got to go, because there's 53 guys and they all got to be utilized.
Yeah,
so like you go from like tackling people, are you going to kick off? Like what all special teams were you playing?
I was playing, the 4.
All of them?
4, yeah.
Wow.
At one point, yeah. And then I started switching up to like 2 and 3.
Like, are you going through like, I got to learn form tackling as quick as I can?
Like punt, block. I haven't done
what are the like shuffle steps or whatever?
Working your hands and stuff.
I know. When was the last time you had to like tackle someone full blown?
7th grade, probably 8th grade, maybe. Yeah.
And let alone like full blown NFL players, dude. That's wild. Okay, so throughout that, you're getting some positive reinforcement from your coach. I don't know, if you're already an established NFL player, you kind of know that it's a revolving door. Like, do they like wait to make relationships with the rookies?
Honestly, not really. The running back room really helped me out, especially because I was getting a few reps at first, but they were, really testing out their, obviously the bigger time guys, seeing where they were at and doing stuff. But, they always took me under their wing, really helped me out. And Pacheco's, he really, kind of taught me the ropes, how to do things, and so that's how I really went from there.
Okay, so now we get into, you make it through camp. You're playing in the preseason. Like, I remember vividly watching you. It was like on the goal line, maybe like week 2 or 3. Like, what's that feeling you get like in your first NFL game?
Man, I just like, you can't even really explain it. Especially at the Chiefs stadium. The fans,
which is like somehow engineered to be louder, right?
Yeah,
That's what they say.
It's hardcore, and so just being able to do that and see the crowd, your reaction and stuff like that, it's just, just a blessing and an opportunity.
Dude, I get like just
I know, I'm
like
getting
little
chills
chills.
now.
So you get out there, dude, and it's like, and you start to get I mean, you carry the ball, you're like doing stuff, and like, was there a point in the preseason when you're like, I might really make this team? Like, like this is going to be a reality.
That was always the goal, is just make the team, really pounding it in my head. But, I knew to myself, I was like, hey, I got to show these coaches why they can't, take me off of this roster. And so that was kind of like my big thought going through the process and, really what stuck out with me.
And was there a moment, like a play or a specific practice or anything that like solidified, I mean, not solidified, but like sealed the deal of like, yep, that's our guy?
There never really was, but I knew that, I was, really having them think about stuff because they kept moving me all around. They were like, well, try to play fullback, try to play running back. Let's see if you can block it tight end, trying to fit me into spots, where I could be. And that's kind of what I told them, as I wanted to be like a little Swiss Army knife, wherever you want to put me, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And especially with like as creative as Coach Reed is.
Yeah.
It's
oh
like,
my goodness, yeah.
You like, there's something.
Yeah. You could be playing wide receiver at 1 minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. And I mean, so the story goes, I just remember watching you, dude. And it's like watching you run during the preseason is like, a dude who's like fighting for his job and he's just like running like he's pissed off at the grass.
Exactly.
Like, dude, you gotta go.
No, exactly.
So preseason wraps up and you make the 53 man. Was that a face-to-face meeting?
It was kind of a thing I had to wait and figure out. You weren't really supposed to know yet, and so I didn't know what was going on here and there, and then I finally figured out. It wasn't a face-to-face. I got a phone call, and so. Yeah, after that, I told my family. They were all there, actually, because they were there on the weekend after one of the games. And so, we all broke down into tears. And, it was just...
And at that point, do you kind of realize, like, I'm good? Like, how long are you good for by making the 53 man?
Honestly, it just depends. It's one of those things where you're thinking you're okay, and then you gotta wait and kind of figure things out.
The anxiety, the pressure
Oh,
of like every week, every day, you're fighting for your job.
Yeah.
Like if I make a mistake here, I can edit it out, and like no one's gonna like, I'm not gonna be toasted, but like
every day.
like and it's like you're human. Like people are gonna make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the balance of like, hey, I made that mistake, but I'm better than that. I'll show you that I'm better than that. Like that just has to be.
Yeah.
Like emotionally, how do you feel going through that process?
It's hard. It's super hard. But I always try to tell people, like, if you make a mistake, doing it at 100%, they're gonna be mad, but they're not gonna get upset. When you're making mistakes and half going through things, half assing it, that's when something's gonna need to change.